Welcome to the Community Air Protection Program online training series. This is the third module in a series providing training on community emissions reduction programs. Today, we'll talk about goals, targets, and strategies. Community emissions reduction programs are action plans designed to reduce health impacts from air pollution. Establishing goals, targets, and strategies defines how that will get done. In this training, we'll cover how goals, targets, and strategies fit together, what kind of goals a community emissions reduction program should include, what an emissions reduction target is, what kinds of strategies a community emissions reduction program should include, and the key components of an implementation schedule. Goals, targets, and strategies are at the heart of a community emissions reduction program, along with an implementation schedule. These different components determine what the plan will do and achieve, but how do these different concepts fit together? Goals, targets, and strategies all work together to help define what success means and how the community emissions reduction programs will get there. Goals define what change we want to see. Targets quantify the results of our actions, and strategies are the specific actions we'll take to achieve the goals and targets. To focus on near-term action, community emissions reduction programs set goals and targets to be achieved within 5 years. Now we'll talk about each of these topics in more detail. Let's start with goals. Remember, a goal defines what change we want to see in our community. A community emissions reduction program could set different types of goals. For example, goals could focus on specific emission sources, electrifying the heavy-duty vehicle fleet in the community, reducing impacts from residential wood smoke, or cleaning up refineries. It could also set goals to increase compliance with air quality rules and regulations. Another type of goal is a proximity-based goal that focuses on reducing the impacts at places where people live, work, and play, and are located near sources of air pollution. For example, installing air filtration at all schools and daycare centers in the community. Now let's talk about targets. All community emission reduction programs include targets that quantify the emissions reductions for specific pollutants from proposed actions. For example, imagine we took action to use zero-emission buses in the community or retrofit wood stoves in people's homes. We could calculate the emissions reductions from these actions to get to our target. In this example, the target might be 2 tons of fine particulate matter. Why do we focus on emissions reductions? Community emissions reduction programs are designed to achieve real reductions, and setting targets helps ensure that these occur. Strategies are the specific actions we will take to achieve our goals and targets. The Community Air Protection Blueprint identifies 6 types of strategies that a community emissions reduction program should draw from. Rules, which establish emission limits or other mandatory requirements for sources in the community. Facility-specific risk reduction, to reduce health risk from individual facilities that impact the community. Air quality permitting, to ensure the cleanest technologies for new or modified sources, incentives for cleaner technologies, enforcement of air quality rules and other policies, and land use, transportation, and mitigation measures to reduce impacts, some of which fall under city, county, public health agency, or other governmental authorities. The blueprint establishes a process to develop strategies. The Community Steering Committee has a key role to play in helping identify and prioritize strategies. The identified strategies should address the mobile, stationary, and area-wide sources impacting the community and consider specific strategies from the 6 buckets we just discussed. Implementing a robust set of strategies will require everyone working together. In cases where the Air District or CARB does not have the authority to implement a strategy, the Community Emissions Reduction Program should consider engagement mechanisms to advocate for the identified strategies. This could include seeking formal commitments from other agencies. Finally, the Community Emissions Reduction Program should discuss all potential opportunities identified and why any were excluded. After selecting a set of strategies, a Community Emissions Reduction Program needs to include an implementation schedule that pulls all these pieces together and defines a timeline. The implementation schedule should include actions for each year of the emissions reduction program that combined achieve the goals and targets in the 5-year time frame. Although the implementation schedule is focused on the 5-year time frame, implemented strategies will continue to deliver benefits beyond these 5 years. To illustrate these benefits and ensure continued reductions, community emissions reduction programs describe the ongoing benefits out to the 10-year time horizon. The strategies and implementation schedule will be developed through a collaborative process with the Air District, the Steering Committee, CARB, and other stakeholders. The schedule itself should include a brief description of the strategy, who has the responsibility to implement the action, and when the strategy will occur. The when should include information on when the agency will act and when the strategy will be implemented, if available. Implementation schedules may also include additional information to further describe the strategies, if applicable, including expected reductions, cost effectiveness, the relationship to the technical foundation, and what comments the steering committee has on the strategy. Thank you for watching this online training focused on Community Emission Reduction Program goals, targets, and strategies. For more information, please visit our website.